There's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you only do it when it's convenient. When you're committed to something, you accept no excuses, only results. And so there's a lot of people that will start off because we have a lot of interest. I'm interested in doing art. I'm interested in doing music. I want to be a rapper. I want to be a singer. I'm interested in being the musician. I'm interested in running for my local government. I want to run for the city council. But there's a difference between the interest and the commitment. That commitment is the thing that I will not accept excuses for. A lot of us started off the year interested in losing weight. But after those 2 weeks, we found out we were interested, but we weren't committed. And so I want to wrap this up in talking about this article about 4 battles that every leader must win every day. And the 4 battles are the battle of conviction, the battle of commitment, the battle of consistency, and the battle of contentment. And we don't have to go into long lists on each of those, but we kind of cover all 4 of those areas. But in talking about that, those 4 areas of the battle that the leader must win every day, talking about the battle of conviction, that the leaders must have clarity on the no's of your life and the no's of your leadership, that you have a list that these are just certain things I will not do. These are certain things I will not move from, no matter how hard the battle gets, no matter how high the heat gets turned up in the midst of the battle, no matter who tries to bribe me. There are some battles that I have to go through that I may have to take a loss on the financial side. I may have to take a loss on the business aspect, but I will not lose my conviction. Talk about that battle of winning the battle of your conviction, that I'm so convicted that no matter what battle, no matter what test, no matter what I go through in my everyday life as a leader, I know there's one battle that I must always win, and that is the battle of my conviction.
Yeah, that's a core value
Yeah.
question, right? What are your core values? And I hope your conviction is tied to your purpose,
Yes.
right? That's the reason we started this whole thing, this whole podcast. Is we are like, okay, um, we feel like leadership is. I don't feel like it's lost because I have a lot of hope and faith in humanity and in people in general.
Sure.
But we felt like so many areas of leadership were lacking in the spotlighted leadership of the world, the media, and so forth. And we thought, this is crazy. If people could
Yes.
just get this right, we would have such an amazing country, right?
Right.
So yeah, conviction is just so important, and you cannot move off of your core values. I mean, you just can't, because then if you move off of your values, right, then you're just turning into somebody that God did not intend you to be.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better myself. And so when you have that conviction, you cannot be moved. And so you win that battle of conviction, you can win the battle of commitment.
Yeah.
There's a quote that says, there's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you only do it when it's convenient. When you're committed to something, you accept no excuses, only results. And so there's a lot of people that will start off because we have a lot of interest. I'm interested in doing art. I'm interested in doing music. I want to be a rapper. I want to be a singer. I'm interested in being the musician. I'm interested in running for my local government. I want to run for the city council. But there's a difference between the interest and the commitment. That commitment is the thing that I will not accept excuses for. A lot of us started off the year interested in losing weight. But after those 2 weeks, we found out we were interested, but we weren't committed. And so now that we've been in quarantine, we've been in lockdown, we've gained weight, we were eating donuts, we're totally off of our lifestyle change and our diet. A lot of us were interested in buying a house. And so we start saving money a couple weeks, but when our friend called us to go on vacation, we spent the money that we saved. We found out we weren't committed. We were more committed to the vacation than we were to the house. And so talk about that difference between I'm interested in this, and that's great, but interested and committed is two different things, because when you have commitment, you accept no excuses, only results.
Yeah, commitment is critical to success. You will not be long-term successful in any endeavor without commitment.
Yes.
Because something will always come up and try to knock you over. And if you look in business or anything else, there will be ups and downs. No company just ascends forever. I know it feels like it. It just doesn't happen. And so it's in those valleys that your commitment will help climb you out into the peaks.
That was good.
You know, regardless of what you do in life, you need if every listener would just focus on being the rock of their family, the rock of their community, and their company, then I heard this example once. You can either be a rock or a river, right? When you look at the stream, the stream flows, right? It just goes with the flow, actually. Nothing pushes it. It just rolls wherever everybody else rolls, right? If you look at all the little drops of water, they just kind of go like sheep. And then the only thing stable in that river is the rock, right? If you notice, the rock doesn't move for the river moves for the rock, right? So you stay committed and you stay strong and with a stiff spine. And I promise you, people will follow you or they will get out of your way.
Ooh, you say something every week that I know I'm just going to preach later on. The river. I'm not going to deal with that whole rock being Christ Jesus, but that was really good. Focus on being that rock, because the river just flows. It can be gone whatever direction it wants to go. It just follows, and it's not a leader. That rock is consistent. And so you said being consistent, having the conviction, having the commitment, and having the consistency. And last but not least, we talked about the 3 C's: the conviction, the commitment, the consistency, but also lastly, the battle of contentment. There's a quote by Tony Gaskins that says, "To be content doesn't mean you don't desire more. It just simply means you're thankful for what you have and you're patient for what's to come." There's nothing wrong with wanting to have more money, wanting to have a bigger home, wanting to have a better life. But if I don't necessarily have those things, I don't live my life in such of a place of despair and depression, because I'm so content as a leader in the things that I have, that I know that if I am a good steward and I'm patient for what I have, God will open up the doors to bless me with more. The Bible says that if you're faithful over a few things, that God will make you a ruler over many things. And so we're content with not being a millionaire, but a thousandaire. Eventually, God can take you there with hard work ethic and commitment and sacrifice and dedication. If you're content being a great husband, if you're content being great as a father of one child and being a great father at one child, God can bless you with more children. And so talk about that battle of contentment, because we live in a world that people are just not satisfied. It's never enough. I have a goal of having 1,000 subscribers or having 1,000 people follow me. And I get that 1,000. I see someone else that has 10,000. Now I want 10,000. I get 10,000. Then I want 100,000. Or I live in a 3-bedroom, and that's what I prayed for God to give me. God gives me that. And I see the Jones family, they go get a 5-bedroom. And so I want that. And so we are never content. I'll find myself in a place of debt trying to pay a $600 car payment for a car that I can't afford. But as long as I have the appearance that I've got it going on, I have the social status, because I have no contentment on the inside. How important is that as a leader, that we win that battle of contentment that I'll just be satisfied with what I have.
Everybody should understand that contentment is not the same as complacent. Okay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people merge the two together. Complacency means that you've essentially decided, like, I'm just going to sit here and I'm good, right? You can be complacent on, just government incomes or whatever, you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
handouts, all that kind of stuff. Complacent means that in my mind, I look at complacent meaning you're happy with your current purpose, role, path, right? You're happy with where you are. It doesn't mean that you're complacent and you're willing to stay there, because I'm that way, right? Yeah. Always moving forward. But moving forward, I should say, making more money or having more likes and shares doesn't make me feel happier or more valued, right? My value doesn't come from likes, shares, whatever, income, stuff like that. My value comes from God and knowing whose I am, right? Yeah. Yes. And so, therefore, it's easy to be content and happy with my situation in life. And also, I think gratitude really helps with that, right? Understanding what are the great things that you have right now. We sometimes we get so focused on what we don't have, we just completely forget about all the amazing. I have 2 healthy kids, and they're amazing kids, right? Are they perfect? No, but who is, right? Beautiful, amazing wife. I have a home. Most people don't even have a home in this world, right? All these things. I live close to family, right? I grew up away from family, so I never saw them, like extended cousins, grandparents, stuff like that. My kids get to grow up with their grandparents. So there's so many things, and you all have the same thing. Everybody has a different spot in life. I'm not saying it's fair, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that everything will ever be fair. Obviously there's not the same equality and fairness is not the same thing. We won't get into that. I don't want someone to like assume that I'm saying, understand where I'm saying, where my heart's coming from, right? Sure. I tell my son all the time, life's not fair, but contentment is just being happy with where you're going and in your purpose in life, and just remember whose you are. And I think that'll help.
Whoa. Yes, man, that was great. And I pray those that are going to watch this, that you just do a self-assessment of, I may not be everything I want to be. I may not have everything I want to have, and that may not be where I want to necessarily be, but where I am, I'm grateful for that. Mm-hmm. People are dying. We're in the midst of a pandemic. Those of us that are still alive, that have 2 good lungs and are breathing, that's enough right there to say I can make it through any battle. I'm alive. I've got air to breathe. I can inhale and I can exhale. And I just want to be grateful for that. This has been an amazing, amazing conversation, and something that stuck out to me, what you said there at the end, man. And our pastor had just taught on that a couple weeks ago in Bible study about knowing your value and knowing who you are, and not allowing someone else to put an appraisal price on you, but getting your value from God.